What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? I would like to welcome you all to another edition of Wayne's Perspective, where we operate in discipline, decency, integrity, and respect. And I'm coming through with another video just for you. Before I get started, like I always do, I hope everyone is doing okay out there, taking every day one day at a time, living life the best way you know how. As for me, y'all know how I do. I'm doing pretty good over here. Can't complain too much. I'm also taking every day one day at a time, living life the west. Excuse me, living life the best way I know how as well. And on top of that, I'm in a very good mood for two specific reasons. Number one, as I record this, it is June 25th, 2026, and it's my 42nd birthday. So happy birthday to me. And shout out to all of my fellow cancers that's listening to this video right now. The second reason why I'm in a good mood is because this will be a 30-year retrospective on my number 4 favorite album of all time, Jay-Z's debut, Reasonable Doubt. But before I get to the album, I just want to talk about a few things first. I do know that there's a controversy going on as we speak, as I record this video, regarding Jay-Z and a recent deal that he's done with Target. I believe it's something in regards to a commemorative vinyl 30-year edition of Reasonable Doubt and everything that's coming along with that. I've listened to a lot of videos with other content creators talking about it and giving their thoughts on the matter. What I'm going to do, with all due respect, is just focus on the album. I'm not going to talk about the controversy too much. Not only do I want to focus on the music, but again, this album is a landmark in hip hop history, and it's a classic. And like I mentioned up top, it's my number 4 favorite album of all time. So I'm definitely going to give it its flowers, like I've been doing since the album has entered into my collection. Continuing on, I remember leading up to the release of Reasonable Doubt, I do recall seeing the Dead Presidents video for the first time on BET's Rap City, and I really enjoyed it. And even at that point, I knew Jay-Z was going to be a big deal, but not on the level of what he would later become. Not only did I anticipate the album very much, but looking back again, this was in a summer where Nas's It Was Written was released 1 week after Jay-Z's debut, which was on July 2nd of 1996. And spoiler alert, y'all can expect a 30-year retrospective on It Was Written on July 2nd, 2026. It's around the corner, so I'm already making plans to get that video out. And with Nas being my number 1 favorite MC of all time and Jay-Z being my number 2 favorite MC of all time, y'all know I'm going to go all out on these videos. So I just wanted to make that clear along with some other things. But yeah, man, It Was Written was the hottest album of the summer of 96. And I think Reasonable Doubt probably was a close second, even though most heads were not talking about Reasonable Doubt at that point, based on how I remember it. But it's all good. I still consider it a strong second. The last thing that I want to mention before we finally get to the album is that I bought this on July 5th, 1997 from Circuit City. That was a Saturday. And I do remember this because I also stayed with my cousins that weekend. And normally I would listen to the album like immediately once I bought it. But being that I was going to their house, I kept it in the plastic because when I got back home, I wanted to listen to it then. And y'all, let me tell y'all something about this album. Reasonable Doubt is probably the best album that looked so good in the plastic. I mean, it looked so good that I did not even want to take it off. And that weekend when I was at my cousin's house, I held that album like close to me. I did not let it out of my sight. So much to a point where one of my cousins, his mom, God rest her soul, she put me to the side and she was like, "Boy, why are you walking around with that CD in your hand?" And I do remember saying, "Because I love it so much." Now, I didn't sleep with the album, but I remember before I went to sleep on Saturday, I put it in a safe place so that it didn't get destroyed. It didn't become lost. It didn't become stolen. And like I said, once I got home on Sunday, I put it in my CD player, listened to it, fell in love with it, and it's been in my collection and one of my favorites ever since. I just wanted to share those things. So again, we're going to go ahead and get right into the album. Y'all know how I'm going to break this down. Each and every song, I'm going to give my thoughts, my ratings, and all of that. And again, this was released on June 25th, 1996, which 30 years ago was my 12th birthday. I'm showing my age here, but it's all good. We're going to go ahead and get right into the album. So starting with song number 1, it would be Can't Knock the Hustle featuring Mary J. Blige. Produced by Nobody, co-produced by Sean Kane, and I believe that third guy's name is The Hound. We get together like a choir to acquire what we desire. Y'all know what I'm talking about. And what a better way to start this album than with this classic. Is definitely one of my favorite songs from Jay. And in addition to the first Dead Presidents, this song did serve as an introduction to his world, pretty much already letting you know that no matter what the situation is, the hustle can't be knocked. And he told this story better than anyone at the time. And you also can't forget about Mary J. Blige and her great performance on that Melissa Morgan inspired hook. And if you don't know who Melissa Morgan is, do your research, because that hook, it came from her song. I can't think of that classic right now, but I know it when I hear it. Again, classic song, a great way to start the album, 5 out of 5 rating. We move on to song number 2, which is Politics as Usual, produced by the underrated Ski. Y'all feel a ninja struggle? Y'all think a ninja love to hustle behind the wheel, trying to escape my trouble? Oh, I wear black a lot, in the act a lot. Got matching VCRs, a huge Magnavox, 10-inch, green like spinach, pop wines that's vintage, is a lot of big money in my sentence. Hey, don't get me started. Y'all know I'm gonna go in with these songs. My thoughts on this one is that it didn't occur to me until years after the fact that no matter what type of situation you're in, especially business, there's always going to be some form of politics, hence the song title. And revisiting this song, it made me think that Jay was not only talking about hip hop, but what he was also talking about was the streets. So you do receive like a dynamic double dose of realism in the same song. And I think it's an outstanding song. 5 out of 5 rating for this one. Then we move to song number 3, which is Brooklyn's Finest, featuring the late great Notorious B.I.G. This was produced by Clark Kent and co-produced by Dame Dash. And rest in peace to Clark Kent as well. He passed away not that long ago, if my memory is serving me correctly. But for 9-6, the only MC with a flu, yeah, I rhyme sick. Me and Gutter had 2 spots. The 2 for $5 hits, the blue tops. Gotta go, Coolio, mean it's getting too high. If Faye had twins, she probably had 2 Pox. Get it? 2 Pox. Oh yeah, I remember this one. Biggie threw a little shot right there. But man, talk about an appropriately titled classic right here. Jay and Biggie, they had an undeniable chemistry together, and this was a fine example of it. You can hear it in Jay's voice that he was excited and inspired, while Biggie was more smoother than usual. And when I first heard it, I lost my mind, and it still stands the test of time as one of the best collaborations you'll ever hear. That right there gives this a 5 out of 5 rating. And if you know my rating style, 3 songs rated 5 out of 5 straight like that, that puts the album in elite status. And it's my number 4 favorite album of all time. So of course it's going to be in elite status for that alone. Then we move to Dead Presidents 2, New Lyrics. This was also produced by Ski for Rock-A-Block Productions. I dabbled in crazy weight without rap. I was crazy straight. Partner, I'm still spending money from 88. What? Naked without your gun. We taking everything you brung. We caking. You ninjas is faking. We getting it done. Man, he was ill with them lines, I tell you that. The sequel to the original Dead Presidents right here is simply excellent, and I can't even begin to tell you which one is better. I would have to listen to both of them joints back to back. But one thing I do want to make clear is that it's just not another song about money. Jay, he cleverly talks about the highs and lows of what people usually call the paper chase and the things that came with that territory. So it wasn't unusual for me to put this song on repeat when I listened to the album, and to this day, I still do that. I mean, great stuff here. 5 out of 5 for that classic. Then we move on to song number 5, which is Feeling It, featuring Mecca, and this was also produced by Ski for Rock-A-Block Productions. This is one of the most laid-back songs Jay-Z has ever made. He was definitely feeling everything on this one, which would be himself, the lyrics, the track, the overall vibe, you name it. He was feeling it here, pun intended. I also wonder what happened to Mecca, because they did a fine job on that hook, but I digress. 5 out of 5 for that joint as well. Then we move to song number 6, which is The Evils, produced by DJ Premier. 95 is how you survive. I ain't trying to survive. I'm trying to live it to the limit and love it alive. Throughout my junior high years, it was all friendly, but not as high. I learned it got the ribby in me. Liquors if any of my kid needs. Hey, phenomenal song right here. Jay, very descriptive, and it's one of many songs by him that has to be heard to be appreciated. It gets dangerous. Money and power is changing us, and now we lethal, infected with the evils. Well said. 5 out of 5 for this joint. Then we move on to song number 7, which is 22 Twos, produced by Ski for Rock-A-Block Productions. Man, I want to do that first verse so damn bad, but you know what? It's a little bit, let's just say that considering the controversy that's going on with Jay right now, I don't think it's in my best interest to do that whole first verse, but just know that verse is tight as hell. And longtime fans, y'all know what I'm talking about. Like I said, I'm chomping at the bit to rap it, but I'm just not. So I'm going to just skip on. Straight dopeness, another 5 out of 5 song. We move on to song number 8, which is Can I Live? This was produced by DJ Irv, also known as Irv Gotti. Rest in peace to him. I'd rather die enormous than live dormant. That's how we on it. Now, with everything that was going on in his life and career at that point, I guarantee you that he asked that one question since the very beginning. Can I live? And he did ponder this over a smooth track, courtesy of The Look of Love, which is another classic. 5 out of 5 for this one. Next up, we have song number 9, Ain't No Ninja. This was produced by Big Jazz, and it features Foxy Brown, who was a newcomer at this point. I've been saying this since you've been playing with Bobby and Kenny. You can't change a player's game in the ninth inning. My thoughts on this one is that history has all but shown that this song is a classic. There's no doubt about that. Jay-Z, he does his thing as usual, but man, whether he wrote her verse or not, Foxy Brown almost stole the show here, and this was one of her best verses ever, and it did put her on the map in a major way, I think, and it does give her verse on LL Cool J's I Shot You remix a run for his money. By the way, in the comments, y'all let me know which Foxy Brown verse was the best, her verse on this song with Jay or the I Shot You remix. Of the Jay-Z Foxy Brown collaborations, this one was clearly the best, and I give it a 5 out of 5. Next up, we have Friend or Foe, song number 10, which was produced by DJ Premier. You can listen to this brief song and tell that Jay was having a little bit of fun doing the making of it, and he would later turn it into a video for the Streets is Watching movie. I need to revisit that too. I got the soundtrack, but I don't have the movie. I give this one 4 out of 5. Next up, we have song number 11. This will be Coming of Age, featuring the debut of Memphis Bleek, another joint that was produced by Clark Kent. I guarantee you that Memphis Bleek continues to thank God for his verse here because it is one of his best. And Coming of Age, this joint, it tells the familiar story of the experienced vet taking a young, hungry, ambitious newcomer under his wing. And I wouldn't be surprised if the song itself was based on actual events. And when I get to Hard Knock Life, I'm going to continue this, but that's down the road. That's in 2028, y'all. This is an excellent song, 5 out of 5. Next up, we have song number 12, which will be Cashmere Thoughts, produced by DJ Clark Kent. 18 karat gold pen. When it hits the sheets, words were familiar like I'm rapping them through platinum teeth. This is what I would call quote-unquote flossing gymnastics. Jay kept it brief but strong here. 5 out of 5 for this one. Oh, and he also said, the proper etiquette when I drop the subject verb and the predicate with this rich ninja rhetoric. Oh yeah, still, like I said, he was ill with them lines. Next up, we got Bring It On. This was featuring Big Jazz and Sauce Money. This was also produced by DJ Premier. Sauce Money came through with some ill lines. Said we was garbage, so fuck college. Street knowledge amazes the scholars when we coin phrases for dollars. And speaking of ill lines, Jay-Z came through with my favorite part. He said, can't do Fadolo, had to turn away when Tony killed Manolo. That's real. Mixed feelings like a mulatto. Thug thought he was OG Bobby Johnson. I played him like Benny Blanco. Mono with mono, you ain't ready. I found no trigger straight up, shoot my guns horizontal. Get your weight up. I am 2.2 pounds, you bury 125 grams. Wouldn't expect y'all to understand this money. Due to knowledge, due to $3, I'm due to demolish. Cruise Brooklyn through Hollis to a hood near you. What the fuck? Straight ill. Big Jazz, he came through with one of my favorite parts too in his verse. Absence of malice in my palace. Call cousin that Dallas trigger finger with the callus. Tip scales for mayor to keep these ninjas off balance. Definitely one of the more underrated, appropriately title collaborations right here. Again, Jay, Sauce Money, another underrated MC I might add, and Big Jazz, they spit straight fire over this DJ Premier produced banger. Bring it on if you think you can hang, and if not, then let me do my thing. That's it. That's all. 5 out of 5 rating for that song. Then we come to the last one. Song number 14, Regrets, produced by Peter Panic. To this day, I still see what Jay was aiming for on this closing, and learning to live with regrets is something myself and others can testify to. He did a great job detailing his past actions and dealing with those decisions years after the fact. So usually when you're in a situation like that, you are going to have some regrets along the way. So I definitely understand, and it was a great way to close the album in a 5 out of 5 way. Now later they will re-release the album and put a part 2 version of Can I Live as a bonus track featuring Memphis Bleek. That song was okay, but I could have done without it. My overall thoughts on the album still remains the same. It's my number 4 favorite album of all time. It's aged incredibly well, and I still find myself liking it more and more each time I listen to it. I definitely like it a little more than I did when I first bought it. And I do remember hearing Jay say that he intended this to be his one and only album, and had that actually happened, this likely would have been the greatest one album performance in history. I mean, the production ranged from smooth and rugged, then laid back, rinse, repeat, and it matched up perfectly with his top-notch lyricism. The guest appearances were spot on and memorable. What more can you ask for, especially on a debut album? He would get bigger and in some ways better from here, but make no mistake about it, Reasonable Doubt, this is the crowning jewel in his discography. It's classic material, and I give it 5 mics, of course. One more thing I want to add before I get to another part of the video is that he did say in interviews that the Blueprint, which was released in 2001 on September 11th, the Blueprint gives Reasonable Doubt a run for its money. Now, in present day 2026, do I still believe that? Yes, I do. But overall, Reasonable Doubt is the better album, I think. I just wanted to share that. And speaking of sharing, that brings me to the last part of this video, which is going to be me cracking open an issue of The Source, the August 1996 issue with Nas on the front. And speaking of Nas and Jay-Z, they did reviews to It Was Written, and they did a review to Reasonable Doubt. Now, when I do my It Was Written video, I'm going to read that review. But let me go ahead and get to what they said about Reasonable Doubt at the time. And this was written by Charlie Braxton. I'm going to read this verbatim. I remember Jay-Z from back in the days, say 88 or so. He hung with a New Jack MC named Jazz who had a humorous little ditty called Hawaiian Sophie. Remember that video with the straight-haired girl dancing in the grass skirt? Who would have thought that the short kid with the high top fade and a boombox will ever grow up to be an MC kingpin with a hit? With the release of his Rockefeller debut LP, Reasonable Doubt, Sean Carter, aka Jay-Z, moves from hip-hop sidekick to mafia-style frontman, blowing up the spot with vivid tales about the economic reality feeling was left of contemporary ghetto politics. In terms of subject matter, Jay-Z isn't saying anything new. It's the same old criminal melodrama that you hear on so many rap LPs nowadays. Titles such as Friend or Foe, Politics as Usual, and Can't Knock the Hustle featuring Mary J. Blige on vocals could have been on any number of hip-hop wannabes LPs. But what makes these tracks stand out here is the slick way Jay-Z flips lyrics. He flows like he's conversing with you at a party or on the street, telling tales of male conquest or simple stories of street survival. His lyrics create cuttingly clever rhymes that ride bomb tracks provided by Clark Kent, Primo, Big Jazz, and others with effortless perfection. In addition, Reasonable Doubt has guest spots filled by Brooklyn's finest player, Notorious B.I.G., the Velvet Smooth Foxy Brown, Big Jazz, and newcomers Memphis Bleek and Sauce Money. The downside of the album is that while Jay-Z has great MC skills and slamming beats, he mars the LP with an almost religious disrespect for women with songs like Cashmere Thoughts and Ain't No Ninja. Now, I'm going to stop right there and say that Jay-Z has gotten criticism for how he's talked about women on record, but then again, you can attribute that to a lot of MCs over the years. Ain't just Jay-Z, but it's interesting that Charlie Braxton mentioned that in this review in 1996. Continuing on. Aside from that, Reasonable Doubt has some really thought-provoking songs. Two of my favorites are Regrets and the outright eerie The Evils. On the latter song, Jay-Z delves into the conspiratorial powers behind the eye on the dollar bill, suggesting that they are the real culprits controlling the ill behavior of so many poor people committing crimes in America. Overall, Reasonable Doubt is a very solid LP. And while many around the country may want to indict Jay-Z for his gender politics and violent content, I seriously doubt if any of them will have a chance of convicting the brother for dropping a whack album. Overall, that was a good review by Charlie Braxton. He gave the album 4 mics, and as I mentioned a few moments ago, I give it 5 mics. It's a classic in my view. History has shown it to be a classic. In their 100th issue, The Source, they did list the album as one of the best 100 albums of all time. In their year-end issue for 1996, they listed it as one of their best albums, which it did deserve because it was one of the best albums of 1996. And I want to say that in their 150th issue, it was part of a series of albums that they went back and in retrospect, they gave it 5 mics. I believe they did give it that. And you know what? Yeah, they did. I need to get my hands on that 150th issue anyway. But overall, we come to the end of this video. I had a good time doing it. It seemed like it went by so quick as well because I was planning to spend a little bit more time, but I think I've hit every key point there is regarding Reasonable Doubt. So one more again, Reasonable Doubt is my number 4 favorite album of all time. It definitely has stood the test of time. It's a classic. It's a landmark, and it'll forever be Jay-Z's crown jewel, even though it's in a discography with a lot of crown jewels. And on that note, if you like what you heard and you're ready to become part of Team Discipline, go ahead and hit that like button and drop some comments if you're feeling the content. Definitely let me know your thoughts on Jay-Z, and of course, let me know your thoughts on Reasonable Doubt. And last but not least, hit that subscribe button along with the bell so you're notified when I drop new videos. And until next time, my people, take care of yourselves. And remember, do the knowledge, do the $3. I'm due to demolish. Cruise Brooklyn through Hollis to a hood near you. What the fuck? I'm out, y'all.